mean, just ultimate hope and somebody that gives everything for us on earth and on to save my life. I mean, honestly, that's kind of how I see it. I think, first of all, just very lost, not knowing where I was going at all. I got very persuaded by a lot of different things, alcohol, pills, just went down the wrong path and was completely lost, angry, rude, pretty much everything you can think of is where I was. Yeah, I think, surprisingly, I was able to see it a long time ago. I always knew there's something missing in your life. I had no idea what it was, but that feeling and that knowledge that I was missing something has been there forever. I just didn't know that it was a savior. It was a pretty slow building progression for me. Like I say, quitting the drugs and the alcohol and stuff was definitely God's hand, but I didn't necessarily know that at the time. And then when I got back here and kind of started with the church, that's when I really started to realize how he was working through me with all that. As far as events, I think there's a lot of ones kind of in my old life that kind of built up and just made me not able to be in that life anymore. I remember one was I was sitting in a club, and I was kind of a regular there, and everybody thought I was this great person. I was very popular. Everybody really liked me there. And I kind of looked around and saw all my friends that were in that club as really bad people, and it was a really horrible spot. And I remember walking into the bathroom and looking at myself in the mirror and going, if you're such a good person, everybody thinks you're so good in this place, but yet you disgust yourself, you're in a bad spot and you need to get better. And that was one of the straws that kind of broke the camel's back for me. As far as people, I mean, first and foremost, my sister has always been there for me through the whole time. I mean, I was very lost, very verbally abusive, mentally abusive to her and my family, and they were always there. She would always try and give me verses and scriptures that I always ignored until I was able finally to listen to those. And when I got back here, Daniel, Matt, and Josh, and those guys were really instrumental for me to find my way and understand God and where I was and where I need to go. So basically how I kind of got started with the church, or more comfortable to be around it, was I had a friend that was in the Cove that I was hanging out with at the time, the Cove Mobile down here, and my sister said that they were doing an outreach there with the church and asked me to come over, and I wasn't going to go at first, and then she really kind of bugged me. I was like, hey, come over, at least say hi. She had been wanting me to meet Daniel, I think, for probably about a month almost at that point. Maybe not quite that long, but she'd been wanting me to get to meet him for a while. And so I came over and I met him and talked to him and kind of hung out with him, and ended up hanging out with him for the whole time they were over there. And they were just kind of regular people, and I wasn't really expecting that, to be honest with you. And then it was a little bit after that they had me, or asked me to come to their young adults meeting at the church. I came to that, and it was extremely uncomfortable. It was really kind of the first time I've been in a church building since I was probably 9 years old. And that was extremely uncomfortable for me. I remember they started singing worship, and I walked out. Josh came out and talked with me and kind of talked me through it, and came back in, and then I kind of just started going to their meetings on Thursday nights, and then that was giving me enough courage to go to churches. And then last Sunday, for the first time, I sang up with a group of the church. It kind of was a slow progression to something now that if I don't go to church on Sundays, I miss it. So. Basically, Daniel was preaching. I don't remember his exact words, but he's basically saying that he understood and speaking to people that didn't necessarily want to be in church, or had that horrible, icky feeling that you have when you come from a bad background of, whether it might be addictions or just being in bad spots. And I didn't want to be there, and I was really fighting to be there, and I was really fighting a lot of stuff at the time. And so he was really speaking to that, and I understood what he was saying, and that kind of made me think, well, if he's preaching to that, and he knows what I feel, maybe he's right about some other stuff as well. And that really kind of made me listen more of the sermon and really kind of be able to get connected with that. To me, he's hope, honestly. I mean, it's kind of a simple thing, but to me, he's hope and he's the light. He saved my life. I mean, to be honest, I mean, for him to show me where to go and to be able to accept him in my heart as my Savior is, I think, I know that's what saved my life. So for what he has done for me, I think that sums it up pretty good. For me, just reading the Bible and seeing the different verses that God has in there that connects my whole life, and it's just stories of me and things I've done or seen, and just everything that is in there that shows you basically how to get out of that and where to go with that, and the peace it does give you. I mean, for me, I had some PTSD stuff from my old job. I had a bunch of PTSD stuff from being in the life that I was in, and I was a mess. I mean, physically, mentally, I was not there at all, and I was never happy. Like, I think I told my parents that, multiple times, and my whole family that, and I was, suicidal at one point for a couple of years because of that, and within, accepting God and changing with that, he's given me hope, joy. I still get some panic attacks, but I pray and he helps with that, and they're not severe at all like they used to be. And like you said, it's just a peace. Like, you can't really explain it, but it's just the stress that you felt in your old life and the stuff that you had in your old life just isn't there anymore. That's kind of, I don't think, I should have died more times than I can remember in my life. There's lots of situations where I should have died countless times, countless different ways, and God kept me alive and he saved me. And that's one thing when it first happened was I had to think about that, like, why me? And then being able to, Daniel's really been letting me come and help with the different youth programs they have, and coming and helping with the Awanas, and just reaching out throughout the community with Daniel and the other groups has really just kind of opened it up for me. It's like, hey, this is why God has saved me, and this is why he saves, I think, all of us is for a better good that we don't understand. I didn't realize or didn't think that this is what I would be here for until God showed me.
Josh gonna laugh so hard at that. He trying to be serious.
I'm just like blink. There you go.
Don't blink.
What have you done? Murdered for me on that cross, accused in absence of wrong, my sin washed away in your blood, too much to make sense of it all. I know that your love breaks my fall. The scandal of grace, you died in my place, so my soul will live. Oh, to be like you, give all I have just to know you. Jesus, there's no one beside you. Forever the hope in my heart. Death, where is your sting? Your power is as dead as my sin. The cross has taught me to live, and mercy